Whew, it's fucking hot down here in Alabama. Hello, I am the Godless Engineer, and today I am coming to you with another episode of Did Jesus Exist? Starting off this second set of videos that I want to produce and put out to you in a timely manner. Now, today we're going to be discussing Tacitus.
Engineer, a conscious pioneer, a logic general, a reason brigadier. More bullshit from the pulpit. Meet me in the comment section and you get schooled, bitch. The Godless Engineer.
Tacitus is regularly used by Christ apologists as an extra-biblical source that points to him actually existing. Now, it's important to know that Cornelius Tacitus was actually born in 55 CE and lived until about 120 CE. Now, he does have a reference to Christ in his book, the Annals, and that occurs in Book 15, Chapter 44. It's a very brief excerpt, which I will be presenting here to you, but not before I go over what this is supposed to prove. Now, those that would use this particular passage in Tacitus normally say that it proves a few things, and this is what they generally say it actually does. They say that it proves Jesus did in fact exist. Jesus was the founder of Christianity. Jesus was put to death by Pilate. Christianity originated in Judea with Jesus. And finally, the fact that Christianity later spread to Rome via the evangelicals and the apostles. So, what does the actual passage say, since I've been accused, I'm looking at you, Rise, of not reading the original text, so let's just go right to the original text.
Consequently, to get rid of the report, Nero fastened the guilt and inflicted the most exquisite tortures on a class hated for their abominations, called Christians by the populace, Christus, from whom the name had its origin, suffered the extreme penalty during the reign of Tiberius at the hands of one of our procurators. Pontius Pilate, in a most mischievous superstition, thus checked for the moment, again broke out not only in Judea, the first source of the evil, but even in Rome, where all things hideous and shameful from every part of the world find their center and become popular.
Now, prior to this, Tacitus was talking about how they were trying to quell this belief that a fire was started by the government. You know, the government ordered this fire. And in order to do that, they did a whole bunch of shit with their own religion, a bunch with the Greek gods and whatnot, about pouring water onto a statue of some other fucking person. But none of that seemed to suffice, and it didn't stop the belief that the government had actually ordered it. So, you know what Nero did? He blamed the Christians. It seems throughout history, Christians get the blame, doesn't it? They are so fucking persecuted. But we do know that this was not a later insertion or interpolation by the Christians because of a few things. For one, the context surrounding the passage fits well within it and actually flows with the passage. The passage actually does use language that Tacitus himself uses within his work. And most importantly, the excerpt exists in all known versions of Tacitus's The Annals. Now, as you might guess, I have a few problems with this particular passage, as I don't feel that it actually does provide any of those things that I listed before. So let's go through the reasons why I don't think that it does anything to support those claims. First is the vague description of beliefs. Basically, what Tacitus does in this particular excerpt is he just describes common Christian beliefs of the time. He basically clues the reader in to what a Christian exactly is, because at the time, Christians weren't very widespread. They weren't really widely known. But they were, becoming a significant portion of the population. So Tacitus felt like he had to describe the belief system of these Christians, who they were, so that the reader wasn't just like, who the fuck are the Christians? Holy shit, I thought we worship Zeus, and what the fuck? Now, the passage doesn't actually espouse anything about Jesus other than regurgitating what the beliefs were of the Christians. In fact, the article that I pulled the list of extra biblical sources from even admits that it was common knowledge at the time, but they still say that it proves that Jesus existed and that he started Christianity. I don't fucking think so. You're gonna need something a lot more solid than this. Now, the second problem I have with this is that it's non-contemporary. Tacitus was born in 55 CE. Now, that means that he was born about 20 years or so after Jesus was supposedly crucified on the cross. That means that no matter what, no matter how magical Tacitus can fucking be, he definitely cannot provide a contemporary account of Jesus. There is no way, unless he references an earlier work by somebody that says that Jesus actually existed, which he doesn't. He doesn't mention that at all. He just states common Christian beliefs of the time. And Tacitus is known for, just stating facts and whatnot, interjecting his own opinion in there sometimes, but he more or less sticks to the facts. So it's really unreasonable to think that he could provide us with anything other than just the common beliefs of the time. And if you could call it anything, if he did provide a first-hand account that was cited, all you could really say is that it just provides a shaky foundation to start from, not anything to actually prove that Jesus existed. Third, Tacitus felt that Christianity was a superstitious belief. Actually, he characterized it as a mischievous superstitious belief, which, funny enough, that's what we all consider it now, at least everybody on my side. But this would seem to indicate that he didn't actually believe anything that the Christians believed happened. This means that, he wouldn't have said or even tried to indicate that Jesus actually existed, just that, this is what the Christians believed. And, moreover, he felt that it was pretty beneath his intelligence to even consider such a superstitious idea. He felt that it was like children grasping at straws, which should be really, really funny considering that a lot of Christians nowadays would use Tacitus in order to prove that Jesus existed. There are a number of possible Christian responses that they could use in order to justify using Tacitus as a way to support a belief that Jesus actually existed. Of course, this doesn't only adhere to Christians, just any Christ apologist. First, they might come at you with saying that if this was just a rumor, then Tacitus would have put a disclaimer in there, as he has done in other sections of his work. Well, now this would be true if he was actually espousing that it was a rumor, but no, he was stating that it was a fact that Christians believe this thing. He was just reporting on what a Christian was, what their belief system is. He wasn't saying that anything actually happened or that he believed anything that they actually believed. So to say that he would have put a disclaimer there would be to say that he would have to put a disclaimer in front of every single fact that he presents in his work, which he doesn't do. Number two, they might come at you with saying that, because of the condescending nature of Tacitus, early Christian church fathers and authors wouldn't have used him to support a historical Jesus. Well, this is just grade A bullshit. Because what we consider now as condescending or embarrassing or anything like that probably wasn't back then. What we consider condescending or embarrassing now is vastly different across the world even. I mean, what might be okay to do here in America is totally condescending or disrespectful over in, say, Japan. So this condescending or embarrassing criteria of it really doesn't hold up when you consider the relativeness of condescending or embarrassing situations or words or whatever, traditions. All right, so basically with Tacitus, it's a completely bunk use in order to say that Tacitus supports a historical Jesus because he only regurgitates common Christian beliefs of the time. He doesn't actually espouse any kind of evidence for a historical Jesus. Now, what does he definitely prove? He definitely proves that Christians were a growing population at the time that he wrote the Annals. He also proves what the early Christians, at their core believed. They believed that Christianity was started by Christ, that he died at the hands of Pilate, that he was executed and tortured and all that other good stuff, and that, through his apostles and evangelists, he spread his religion after his death. That is literally all Tacitus proves. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, consider becoming a patron of mine. This is one of my patronized series that I'm doing, along with my interviews and some logical fallacy stuff that I do. Go down below. It's the first link in the description. Consider, supporting me and my work. If you disagree with my opinion on Tacitus, please go down below. Leave me a comment. Let me know. Although the comments usually point out the problem and then provide your analysis or description of your solution or an explanation as to why I'm wrong. Don't just go down there and say, you don't need to be an atheist. You believe in God. Don't go down there and do that. Just, leave me a good comment and I will respond to you. And as always, don't forget to think skeptically and stay godless.